Okay, this lesson is on factoring trinomials with the minus sign at the end. You can have a plus or minus in the middle, but this deals with the minus sign at the very end. Now, we're going to do it like I did with the plus sign. Let me show you how we're going to do this. The minus at the end means, subtraction. So what you're going to be doing is looking for numbers that subtract equal to the middle number. I'm going to show you like a little shortcut to this. No, hold on. The minus means that the number is negative. Sorry. Minus then means the number is negative. Sorry. The number is negative. Now, when you factor one with the minus sign at the end, it's going to be two parentheses, but one will have a negative and one will have a positive. It doesn't matter if the plus goes first or the negative goes first. That doesn't matter, either one of these. But the key is the signs are going to be different. Now, what we're going to do, I don't know if I did this in the other lecture or not, but we're going to be listing factors of negative numbers this time. The problem with negative numbers is the only way you can multiply two numbers and it be negative only if one is positive and one is negative. Now, you never know which one is the negative number, so you have to consider both cases where the first one is negative or the second one is negative. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to do it just like you did the other problem with the plus sign, but it's going to look like this. You will put the first number as a negative sign and the second number as positive. Then you'll list the second factor then you'll do the next one with the first one negative. Then you'll do the next one with the first one negative. Then you're going to turn around and rewrite all these numbers but put the negative on the second number. So with the minus sign at the end, one of these numbers will be negative and one will be positive. We just don't know which one based on the problem. Let's go ahead and list these out. -1, 18. -2, +9. -3, +6. Then we turn around and list them with negative signs on the second number. All of these pairs multiply out to be -18. All right, -12. We'll do -1, +12, -2, +6, -3, +4, and then turn around and list the negative on the 12, the negative on the 6, and the negative on the 4. Once we do this, then we're going to do the same process. We're going to add the numbers up and see if they equal what's in the middle. Alright, let's say I had x squared minus 6x minus 16. So come over here to the side. It's -16, so list all the factors of -16. 2 and 8. -4 and 4, then turn around and list them all with the negative on the second number. Now, I know it's going to factor into this. I know my signs are going to be different. Now, and the reason I know that they're different is because they have different signs, right? Obviously. So let's go add these up. Now, what am I looking for in the middle? I'm looking for a -6. So if I add these two up, we get +15, +6, 0, -15, -6, and 0. So these two numbers give me the -6. So those are the two numbers we're going to put in parentheses, plus 1 and a negative 8. Let me just tell you this. Whenever whatever sign's in the middle goes with the bigger number. So I know it's going to be positive and negative because of the minus sign at the end, and the sign in the middle tells me which number will have that sign. So that's kind of like a little shortcut. Once you do this enough, it'll get a little easier. Let's do, say I have x squared plus 7x minus 8. So let's list out the factors of negative 8, negative 1 and 8, negative 2 and 4, 2 and negative 8, 2 and negative 8, 1 and negative 8, and 2 and negative 4. Now, I'm looking for positive 7 in the middle. Well, let's add these up. That gives me positive 7. That gives me 2. That gives me negative 7. And that gives me negative 2. Okay, well, we just found it. Right here, whoops, gives me the positive 7. So in the parentheses, we're going to put an x minus 1 and an x plus 8. Now notice, the sign in the middle goes with the bigger number. So if you can remember that little trick, you don't have to list all these factors. It may help you. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Maybe a good idea to just list them all and just try to see the pattern with this stuff. When you get to intermediate, you can use some of these shortcuts. So let's go do some more. Let's say I had x squared minus 5x minus 24. Well, I know for sure it's going to be this. So let's take the minus 24 and let's list all the factors. Now, I'm looking for negative 5. So we got negative 1, positive 24, negative 2, 12, negative 3, 8, negative 4, and 6. Then turn around and list them all. Do the same numbers, but stick the negative on the other number. Now, let's go add them and see which one adds up to be negative 5. That's 23, 10, 5, 2, negative 23, negative 10, negative 5, and negative 2. So we're looking for negative 5. Here's negative 5. So I put a positive 3 in one and a negative 8 in the other. And again, notice the sign in the middle went with the sign of the bigger number. Now, I want to do this without listing all the factors, because I want to show you. So, let's say we had x squared minus x. Let's do plus x minus 6. So, this sign at the end, how you can think of it is this means subtract two numbers to get the number in the middle. Now, we're subtracting two numbers. One of the numbers will be negative, one will be positive. Now, that minus sign tells me the signs in the parentheses are going to be different automatically. That's what it tells me. I know that for a fact. I may not know anything else, but I at least know that for a fact. Now, the sign in the middle goes with the biggest number. So when I find the two numbers that subtract, this one will be the biggest number. Now, think about the factors of 6. Which two numbers subtract to give me 1? And I hope you can see the two factors that subtract to give me 1 are 2 and 3. So 2 is going to go in one of the parentheses and 3 is going to go in the other. Well, the bigger number goes with the sign that's in the middle, so the 3 would go here and the 2 would go here. I'm just kind of showing you a little shortcut. You don't have to do this. The best way to do, maybe like this one, list all the factors and you'll know which sign goes where, but you eventually need to learn these little shortcuts to help us do it a little faster. Let's say we had x squared minus 7x minus 18. So I'm going to do a little trick. I mean, it's not really a trick, it's a little strategy. This sign at the end tells me the signs in the parentheses, I'm going to do this one in yellow, are going to be different. One's going to be negative, one's going to be positive. This sign tells me where the biggest number will go. This will be the biggest number. Now let's think about the factors of 18. We got 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. Now remember, this means subtraction. Which pairs of numbers subtract to give me 7? Well, if I subtract 18 and 1, we get 17. If I subtract 9 and 2, I get 7. If I subtract 3 and 6, I get 3. Okay. The 9 and the 2 subtract to give you 7. But since it's a negative 7, the biggest number goes with the negative. The smallest number goes with the positives. Now this may be not for everyone. If you understand how to do this, this is a little easier. But let me just do another one where we list out the factors. Let's do this one. Whoops. Minus 3x. No, not 3x. Minus 5x minus 72. Okay, so that sign tells me my number is negative, so we're going to come over here and list all the factors of negative 72. Hold on, that's not going to work. 6 and 12. Change this to a 6. Alright, so let's just, now 72 has a lot of factors, so you got to be careful. 36, negative 3 and 24, negative 4 and, what was that, 18, negative 6 and 12, negative 8 and positive 9. And let me turn around and list them all again with the negative on the second number. Now, I'm looking for a pair that adds up to be negative 6. Well, it's going to be down here, because when we add those numbers, since the biggest number is negative, it's going to be a negative number. So which pair from down here gives me negative 6? It's the 6 and negative 12. So in one parentheses, we'll put the plus 6, and the other parentheses, we'll put the minus 12. The minus in the middle goes with the bigger number. Now, it doesn't matter if you write it either one of these ways. What matters is where the sign goes. whoops. It should be so. The only difference between this and the other problems is you've got to list one negative and one positive, list all the factors, and turn around and list all the factors again and put the negative on the second number. That's the only difference. Then go through here and add up the numbers. If it helps, you could do this. You could do a little table. Let's say I had, I don't know, I'll do negative 18 again. And let's say I'm looking for negative 3. So we list all the factors. Once I get them all listed, I'm going to add them up in this column. So this is where we multiply. This is where we add. All right. So we'll get positive 17, positive 7, positive 3, negative 17, negative 7, and negative 3. Doing this little table can help us organize it so we can see what we end up with. So this is always, this is always the number at the end. This is always the number in the middle. Now, some people may have different methods and it works for them. In beginning algebra, I really think this is the best way to do it so you can see some patterns emerge. Just try to do those problems. If you got anything, email me. Visit me during my office hours, whatever. And we'll go over it. But if you can do the other problems, I know you can do these but the signs are just opposite. So just don't worry about that. But just same process.